Dungeons and Dragons is a cooperative fantasy storytelling game.
A single arrow pew, launches from Discovery's bow, and it hits him in the face.
Where you have a dungeon master who's guiding you through the story and players that are living out the story in their mind, so to speak.
Will, it is your turn. What do you would like to do?
Ooh, I'm gonna take out my longbow and shoot one of the creatures.
Okay.
For the most part, the setting is a high fantasy version of the Middle Ages.
In the game, if you're a player, you're going to make a character.
A lot of the players identify with the characters a lot.
I just love that I can make it my own, and I know that I have kind of an unlimited effects budget, so there's nothing stopping me from taking any weird random idea I have and trying to find a way to put it in the game.
This is a life-size Quasit, which is a creature that the people might have to fight. One of the things that's always on the table for the most part is character death. You are adventuring, you are going up against beasts, so characters can and will die. So this is Tiamat. It's the embodiment of all the evil dragons.
It's incredibly social, right? I think that's a huge piece of it. When you tell stories like that as a GM or a dungeon master, I don't know what's going to happen, right? I basically set a premise and then we all tell the story together.
Take a shot.
The dice help determine the outcomes of combat or the stories or whatever, but the action is in your mind.
Are spells on the table for this challenge?
I would believe that this is a no-spell challenge.
Okay.
Some game masters like to run a very scripted game. Some people like to be much more improvisational.
You pull, you loose your arrow, and they go boom, boom, boom. Hits a number of them as they all sink back into the water.
There really is no restrictions other than what your imagination is.
A creature of elemental being that came from the depths of the ocean to follow you guys under the orders of Kulik.
They've done a real big focus on what the imagination of it and making it very accessible. The rule set has gone through variations, and the current one is the easiest to learn.
You get people from all walks of life that play Dungeons and Dragons, and most of the time, they just want to find somewhere to fit in. You can also use it as a tool to help yourself dealing with crowds or, let's say, any kind of social anxieties that you might have.
How you see the world around you ends up getting reflected here.
I really love being in person playing D&D and being able to see people face to face.
No matter how bad my day was, once we start to play and once you start to interact with that character and the group around you, it almost always lifts you up.
Oh wow, that's nice actually.
Whenever I make my D&D characters, I always put a little bit of myself and my own life and issues and stuff in the backstory.
And I think D&D in recent years really embraced that, because there was the stereotype, it's a bunch of fat, nerdy white guys in a basement, antisocial or whatever.
Because really it's a game about heroes, right? And so it gives us an opportunity to kind of play out what would it be if I am that hero that we all read about. And, we all kind of have that slice in us, I think.
So, and that's really enabled a lot of people to play, and then in the artwork and how they approach characters and classes, people can see themselves in the characters and in the rule books.
We didn't see nothing.
They laugh, or they cry, or whatever range of emotions. You go through all the spectrums here.
We have kids playing Dungeons and Dragons. We have adults first time coming in and playing it. People in their 20s.
Jerry and Off the Shelf, really what they've done is they've managed to bring a very wide group of people, and they work hard to bring more people in.
The store is for people to come and hang out and play games.
It's a great culture, it's a great community. All the people here are very caring, very open.
I'm glad my family opened this game store because it let me have more of those connections. It really kind of opened up my world when that happened.
Just for a moment, it seems like time stands still.